So I've been doing this video series on a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's a book about the science and art of human relations. And we've gone through the first section, which talked about the fundamental techniques of handling people. If you've been following along, the things that we talked about, we're not criticizing, condemning, or complaining, giving sincere and honest appreciation, as well as arousing in others an eager want. So we're moving into section 2 of the book, which talks about 6 ways to make people like you. And in this section, there's 6 different chapters that talks about just that, getting people to like you. Now, something that hopefully you've picked up on if you've been paying attention to the video series, or if you've been reading the book, or if you've read the book, there's 2 things that really stand out about this that really make it work. Number 1 is it's not about you. That's something that's so critical that needs to be thought of throughout this entire process. It always needs to be about the other person. And number 2, it needs to be very sincere and genuine. Now, when I was reading the first chapter of this section of 6 ways to get people to like you, I feel like I literally couldn't stop smiling the entire time because it was just such a fun read. And it was something that was so simple, yet so profound that anyone and everyone should be utilizing this as a means to get people to like you. And it's not one of those where you should do it just so people like you. You should do it simply because it's fun to do, and the response that you're going to get from other people is just unbelievable. So this chapter gives some very simple yet effective techniques that you can use that's going to change the way that you interact with people just on an everyday basis. It's going to help to enrich the relationships that you already have, and it's going to make it easier for you to develop new relationships with new people, be it professional, personal, or anything in between. So the opening chapter of the book, this made me smile so big, and I was laughing so hard because I got a mental image of this actually happening. But one of the techniques is talking about a greeting, and the way the chapter opens up, think about man's best friend. Now, if you've ever had a dog, if you've ever interacted with a dog, if you've ever seen someone with a dog, you probably know what I'm talking about. You could walk out of the room for 30 seconds, and when you come back, every single time you see this dog or this dog sees you, it is going to run up to you and greet you as if you've been its hero and hasn't seen you in the last 10 years. It's going to try to tackle you to the ground, jump out of its skin trying to show you love and affection, probably give you one of those licks from the side of your face all the way up to the top, which, by the way, don't actually do that to somebody. That probably won't be very well received, and you may get arrested for doing it. It's neither here nor there. The point is this. The dog is doing that because it genuinely loves the person that it's greeting and interacting with, and it could have just met that person for the very first time. There's no ulterior motive. It's not expecting anything in return. It simply wants to show its love and affection for the other individual. So think about how you can utilize that concept and show a genuine amount of excitement when you see somebody. I love to recognize children for this because they're so good at it as well. If you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. When you come home from a day's work, that kid will run up to you, your child, your son, your daughter, will run up to you and give you the biggest hug in the world. And at that moment, you are that child's everything. And they just have this innocence about them and this sincerity about them and genuine appreciation for wanting to show you love and affection unconditionally. So think about how you can do that with people that you're interacting with. Show them that you're excited to greet them. Think about a performer that you know or a speaker that you might have seen, somebody who's the best person you've ever seen on stage. There's 2 people in particular that really stand out to me that I actually want to take a moment to recognize. And they're speakers that I've heard before that, to me, as far as I'm concerned, stand far above the rest. And it's not because their message is all that much different, because at the end of the day, a lot of the times, speakers that you hear, they're giving a very similar message. They're talking about very similar concepts. But it's their stage presence, their delivery, and ultimately their character and the way that they reflect it to the people that are in the audience that make them stand out so much. And you can tell that it's sincere and genuine, and they show a level of excitement when they're on that stage representing what it is that they believe in, that you can't help but fall in love with them as a speaker and want to get to know them more. And those 2 individuals in particular are Patty Hendrickson and Brian Williams. So if you've ever had the privilege of hearing them speak, you know what I'm talking about. And if not, I would recommend that you go look it up. But it's very clear that when they're on that stage, they're having an attitude of gratitude, and they're showing a genuine excitement to be able to be of service to the people that are in the audience. And that's what makes the difference. So greeting, the presence, the way that you interact with people, that's one of the ways that's going to get people to like you and to be able to show a genuine interest in that other individual. Another thing that's very simple yet incredibly impactful when we're talking about taking a genuine interest in the other person, learn simple but significant things about the people that you're interacting with. The very first thing, again, you might take it for granted and not think of it, is the other person's name. How many times have you met someone and when you introduced yourself to them, within 10 seconds, you already forgot their name and you're struggling through your memory going, oh my God, they literally just told me their name and I can't remember it. But if you make it a point to learn that person's name and to use it over and over and over again, not only in that interaction, but the next time you see them, that's a big deal. It's showing them a level of respect that shows that person that you know who they are, you respect them enough to care about who they are, and it's important to you to address them by name. Another simple thing, remember somebody's birthday. Find out something about them that they enjoy, and then talk to them about that. Write it down in your notebook, in your calendar. When it's that person's birthday, call them, send them a text, say happy birthday. LinkedIn and Facebook make it almost impossible not to know when it's someone's birthday, because if you're connected with them, it's going to pop up on your feed and you have no excuse not to say anything at that point. But what about the names of their children? What about the names of their pets? What about their favorite hunting spot or fishing spot? What about a favorite performance that they like to go to? Something that they told you and they referenced 6 months prior? What about an upcoming anniversary for a husband and a wife and you happen to remember and sent them a card, or simply called them up and wished them a happy anniversary? Little things like that, again, are going to show that you're taking a sincere and genuine interest in the other person. So to bring this to a close, I want to read a quick excerpt from the book that just illustrates these points so wonderfully. If we want to make friends, let's put ourselves out to do things for other people. Things that require time, energy, unselfishness, and thoughtfulness.